breath I took a life too surreal. Second breath I took was the pivot and strike, finish the kill. Influenced by fight with every sentence reveal. I won't pay backs, fuck the dollar bill.
Space, space bar. Just press it.
I let this tongue whistle, let my focus in memory and inventive. I only live to do my master's will. I.S.U.P.K, motherfucker. Ain't no cowards on this battlefield. God is straight, but made greater. In my return, left through my mistakes. Every error was a lesson learned. Now I don't fool, let's see, get approved. We'll take a step till it
yeah. U.P.K.
One step will make the ground shake. My people sick in their head, Lord, let this truth spread like an outbreak. Bring hell and
water is thank you.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. No more pain for stars in the slave memoirs. The price of ride, I can't let it slide. Ignore the lies. The only free will that's before your eyes. It's like a death, nigga, you decide.
Hey, Shalom. Class about to start momentarily. Make sure you type in your questions. If you got any questions, type them in. I'll share it around on the web real quick before we get started.
Do me like Othello, going out this swinging life like Romello. By any means, this devil pulling strings like you pedal.
Type in your questions, all of that.
I never let go. And fuck they silver spoon, got too much love for the girl. I die for the cause. Just to hear the angels applaud. And the truth on every word I say. Cause I know my victory on the way. Opponent, nigga, walk this way. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga go hard and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so tough? It's real. I be walking with the makers. One can't be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga go hard and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so tough? It's real. I be walking with the makers. One can't be touched. Can't do it in clutch. They hate when they came down to serve the flying bricks instead of power. What you know about evil all around, but a nigga straight. I told you I can't be touched. Only angels walk at my face. I'm grateful for the birds that had me delivered. I'm hungry for the glory, but I ain't eating till I feed my necks. One West, what I die for. Attire out the book of numbers, this rifle from the Archangel Michael. My niggas rebels, you can't deny them. It's one for the flow. I be running to and fro with the
yeah.
This is my favorite Captain song.
Yeah, it's on the banger right here, boy.
Right. Imagine we got this on a bang system.
Right.
Imagine we playing this is all through the hood.
Oh, it's over. It's going down this summer. That's all. It's going down this summer. About this God that you feel so much. When you look so tough, it's real. Like you walking with the angels, boy. I can't touch. Oh, then I wouldn't give up.
Tell me about this God that you feel so much. And why you look so tough, it's real. I be walking with the angels, boy. I can't touch.
Make sure y'all share that class, hit that like button. On all things, yeah, keep the class ready, boy. Hey, that's a cold jam by Captain Akkad Avarayam. You know, out there in Philly, man, making that cold music. You know what I mean? Definitely check it out. Go to www.I.S.U.P.K.com if you want to get more of the brother's music. He been making hot tracks. You know what I mean? From the jump. There's a mighty man in his work of the Lord, and he's always, doing great music and all of that. Speaking of him, we also got the lamb slaughter coming up. We're going out to Philly to kill the lamb for the Passover that we're gonna eat. You know what I mean? Somebody asked me, said, "What y'all gonna like make an altar and sacrifice the lambs?" I'm like, well, nah, that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna kill the lamb and cook it.
Right.
You understand? That's what the Lord told us to do for the Passover.
Right.
We're gonna sacrifice the lambs, as in when you kill it, you cook it. You know what I mean? We so far away from that type of anything that has deal with killing your food before you eat it. That, you know, to us, that's like a sacrifice to a god or something. If you got to kill it yourself, you mean it ain't in the grocery store? Y'all ain't just gonna go pick it up in pre-wrapped packages and gifts? No, we're gonna go down and we're gonna go to the farm and hand pick all the lambs that we want to take, that we want to eat for the Passover.
Right.
You understand? That is something that's a great tradition in the Israelite School UPK. We're gonna keep it going. Commander YAHANNA, all the generals is gonna be there, all the captains, all the officers gonna be there. And it's gonna be a great time. If you want to get down with that, contact Captain Bryant or contact your camp leader so you can get the information. That screen that you on, that tab, put a let me show you real quick. Click on this X, and then those two are where questions is at. But yeah, so you know all that's going down in the Israelite School UPK. I'm taking over for Officer Isaiah. Who's not gonna be able to do the Brotherhood class today, so I'm taking over the Brotherhood class today, and there's a lot going on. Kobe, as you all know, Kobe Bryant, NBA player, basketball player, and all that, ball player, died in a helicopter crash. And everybody's like, you know, R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Kobe, Kobe, this is death, he died. Like, you know, like it was their brother or something, you know what I mean? They showing so much love and all that, which is great. You know what I mean? We should show love to our people, you know, if they pass, if they die, if they have a success, if they failure, we should show love to our people. That's what Christ said to do. Right. Christ said to love your brother as yourself. But this is the problem that Israel had. Israel want to show so much love to Kobe, not because he's black or Hispanic or Native American, because he's our people. And we put value on our people. Not because of that. It's because he was good in basketball. That's why they want to put the love on that brother. Right. They put the love on that brother, not because he's a brother, not because he's part of the 12 tribes of Israel, the holy seed, that we the children of the Lord that went to hell and high water together as a people. You know what I mean? And destined to rise up together. That's not why they love him. They don't love him because of that, because of his bloodline, because of his seed. They don't even love his kids because of their bloodline of his seed. Right. They only love him and his kid because he was so good in basketball. Right. And then they're confused when the oppressor on the news, the white woman, going to call them the Los Angeles niggers. Right. She said he was a part of the team, the Los Angeles niggers. Right. This is what blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't understand. I took it out. I brought it out in the Take Ground Breakdown the other day. Everybody doesn't idolize basketball players. And when you talk about white America, that's basically all white America. Right. We look at black basketball players and football players as heroes. To white America, they are not heroes. White America has real heroes that they look up to. Their president, their senators, their mayors, their fathers. They got a million plethora of heroes to look up to. They don't look it up to no damn basketball players. So her calling them the Los Angeles niggers, that's regular talk for white people. Right. They don't see them as, these is the greatest of all of the people. Right. they don't give a damn about that. Right. Go ahead, Warrior.
They honor even their people in the military.
Right.
Who ain't any type of celebrity, ain't on TV all the time. Right. He just in the military. He come through with the military outfit on, and what do? They go, thank you. Thank you for your service. Making him feel good. He's a hero. Right. They don't even know this guy from a can of paint.
A cop died. Oh, he's a hero.
Right.
No matter what the circumstances of his death, just the fact that he was a cop and he died in line of duty, he's a hero. Right? We think we up in arms about her calling them the Los Angeles niggers. That's what they called the basketball players. Then we always up in arms when an NFL player or some black so-called famous person get arrested or get treated racially or something. We like, that's a big deal. That's not a big deal because they are only big to us. Right. They're only big to us because we slaves and we don't know who the real heroes are, which are the Israelite School UPK, the black men, black, Hispanic, Native American men and women in the Israelite School UPK. We're the real heroes. Right. But we don't know to look to our own people for that are not just entertainers to be heroes. You understand? So go ahead.
Say one thing, sir. like nobody looks at like the street ball dudes as heroes, even though they cold with ball too, but they not looking up to them because white people have not accepted them. The dudes that just play on the court every day, in some rec center or something like that, who we know is cold. He can go glide from the free throw line and dunk and all of that. You know, we're not looking at them as, they don't look at them as heroes. But once they get approved by white people, then they get looked at as heroes. Kobe was approved by white people. You know, that whole thing that he supposed to have done with that white girl at that hotel, he apologized and bought his wife a $1 million ring.
Damn.
All of that, you know what I'm saying? The ring was like 1.5 million, something like that. And then whites forgave him. So now blacks following behind them forgave him too, and it was business as usual.
Right. And it's so crazy that, because I ain't trying to get too big on it, but somebody showed me a post that Kobe put when Trayvon Martin was killed by George Zimmerman. And basically he said we shouldn't jump to conclusions just because somebody's African American. We should look at the facts first and the details first. If we just look to because he's African American, we jump on their side, then this is the same as we haven't moved forward, basically. That we're still being racist and all that about that. And this is the thing. If it was a white woman that was killed by a white girl, teenage girl that was killed by a black man, no, he wouldn't be saying we should jump to conclusions. We should do this. He would have been like, I'm all for hanging them, lynching them, all of that. You understand? So a lot of these athletes, you know what I mean, and famous men and big men, they're going to be very disappointed, you understand, when they don't get the support of their people that they usually feel like they can automatically get. They feel like they automatically get the support of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
But because of the Israelite school of UPK, that support you're going to have to actually do for your people to actually get that support. You understand? To get that support, you know what I mean? Because we are becoming wiser. Why? Because the Israelite school of UPK is teaching. We're teaching day. More brothers is learning day in and day out. And over time, our population is going to be more wiser. So we're not going to be fooled by, just put a black man there. Just put a black face there. And all of a sudden, we think that's, you know, everything's cool now because there's a black face there. You understand? Like now we have to get the actual results. And I'm going to get this scripture, Isaiah 3:1. For behold, the Lord of hosts, the Most High, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff. The stay and the staff, this is talking about the wise men. Wise men will hold the staff. The stay is men that basically hold down the community, that hold down the people, that are mighty men that stay. They are the stay. They're people you can lean on who actually do things for our people. The Lord took that away. The whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water. What does that mean? Because your leaders is supposed to provide to you bread and water in the form of knowledge, in the form of direction, in the form of leadership. A good leader is going to lead you to what? Bread and water. He's going to feed you. He's going to make sure you know how to feed yourself, how to do things. He ain't going to leave you sitting there high and dry. Verse 2. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient. Right? The Lord is going to take away all these men. I'm going to break down each one of these, right? Verse 2, the mighty man. That's the first one. All right, a mighty man in Israel is a man who has might. You understand? A man who's strong. A man who has, and this is not only talking about physical strength, because like physical strength goes good distance, but it don't go all the way. You understand? Because somebody who has, you know, trained in warfare or trained with a sword and a gun, against somebody who's just trained in being strong, he's going to lose because the guy's going to shoot him. You understand? So a mighty man is somebody who can do things mightily in many different ways. A lot of our mighty men are doing what? Playing sports. Running around, jumping, hopping and hooling and run around. Woo, yeah! Woo! Oh, yeah! They jumping and howling and hooping and all that for the white man. Go ahead.
And then they win a championship. First thing he started doing is start crying.
Oh, going to Disneyland.
Yeah,
Disneyland.
we finally here.
Right.
We finally made it.
Right.
Like, dude.
Over the damn ball game. You
Right.
understand? Not knowing that this is just your job.
Right.
As an entertainer for the white man, for the oppressor. So a lot of the mighty men is just men that are able, you know what I mean? Men that are able to get things done, to do things, to be powerful, to defend, to be, you know, strong for our people. The Lord took them away. Well, you know, obviously we stopped following the law, statutes, commandments. We stopped loving each other. We stopped being about each other. You know, you can thank Martin Luther King for that. You know what I mean? You can thank all the civil rights leaders for that. But they're all gone. Okay, let's get more. And the man of war. Now, the man of war is somebody else. It's like a mighty man, but just basically another tough guy. Guys who in the streets, guys who tough, you know what I mean? Guys who are not scared, not cowards. Men of war. The Lord took that from us. Men of war are not about war. And any warfare they are about is about killing our own people. That's how it took it away from us. We didn't divulge to killing ourselves. So how great is our army and our men and our warriors if the only thing they know how to do is kill each other?
Right.
That's how the Lord took it away from us, through them curses. This
Right.
is the precept to this is in the curses in Deuteronomy 28, where it said, thy young man to have an evil eye towards his brother. That's the Bloods and the Crips. That's the Latin Kings in MS-13. They fight an evil eye towards each other when the oppressor is the one doing all destruction.
Right.
You understand? You have a question? How's it going? No. All right, cool. After that, yeah, that's good. So, and the man of war. All right, the judge. Now we get into another side of our people. You understand? The judge. That's a man who could be diligent and prudent in matters. When I say diligent and prudent, which means he could search things out, he can learn things, you know what I mean? He can look into things, read and write real well. You know, brothers who are like that. The Lord took them away from us. Because even those type of brothers, what? Half of them brothers hate black people. You understand? You get a brother who's got some type of education, you know, and, you know, this and that. But somehow he turns his education into hating black people.
Right.
And it's usually because they're not as educated as him.
Right.
They're not as educated as him. They ain't got it all together like he got it all together. They didn't go get a college degree, and they didn't go study, and they didn't go read like he did. It's their fault now. It's their fault, and he hates them for that.
Right.
When not understanding that in a nation, you're going to have a totality of type of people. Everybody's not going to be some lawyer, judge, reader, and writing type of motherfucker.
Right.
Excuse my language.
Right.
Go ahead, Ward.
That's so true. And that's one thing that we got to realize. Our people just, you know, the so-called educated people among us is not even educated enough to even understand that concept right there. How you going to have a whole nation and they all just only judges? They only want everybody only one thing. We always try and just duplicate, and like the whole world should be like that. That goes to show you that a lot of people, we only think internally.
All right.
We don't think externally like what we're supposed to do.
And a lot of that comes from the thoughts and vision of the slave master for the slave. Like, for example, when the slave master needed field hands, a field hand was great. When the slave master needed warehouse workers, a warehouse worker was great. If you wanted to be a warehouse worker, everybody loved it. Man, you need to go start joining the plant. I'm going to start the plant. But if you wanted to, during that time, if you wanted to go to school and read and write or do anything else, everybody's looking at you like, oh, you weird, man. You off. Right. You know what I mean? Throw that shit, be gone with that. That's lame. You know what I mean? They so worried about being a warehouse worker. Not because we just great warehouse workers and we want to get on the assembly line and that's all we care about. No, that's because that's what the man cared about. Right. So that what he needed was projected onto us because we were his slaves. Now, even to today, he don't need a whole bunch of warehouse workers. What does he need now? He needs a whole bunch of secretaries and accountants and writers and people that's going to get on the computer and do all types of work for him in that field. So guess what? Now we're like, that's the greatest thing to do. That's the great thing to be. We just running and jumping behind it. Right. You understand? Black people forgot all about every other trade. That's how you know it's not from us. This is from trying to please the oppressor. Right. Because we forgot about every other trade: mechanics, plumbers, carpenters, bricklayers, cement layers, and every other trade. Black people done forgot all about it.
Right.
You understand? So that lets you know it's not like we thought about this and we was like, we need to get college educated. We didn't put no thought into being college educated. We were told to become college educated. And that was valuable. And then we all just did it. You understand? So that's the judge, right? Now, getting even more. And the prophet, right? The blood of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So you're going to have black men, Hispanic men, Native American men that have the spirit of prophets in them. You understand? Look, shoot, yeah, Tupac. You know what I mean? That's a good example of a brother who wasn't in the truth, but he had like a vibe and a spirit of a prophet. You understand? He liked to talk about things that happen in the future. You understand? Talk about the word of the Lord. You understand? Even though he wasn't a Christian or nothing that, but he was always talking about, something like dealing with the Lord. You understand? Because that spirit was on him to talk about the Lord, to talk about God, even though he don't know God. He don't know the laws, statutes, commandments. He don't know how to act. He don't know how to please the Lord. He don't know nothing. But he do know that there's a higher power, and he knows that higher power got a lot more in store and all types of little things that a prophet, has a vibe about. You understand? The Lord took that away from us. You understand? Before the Israelite school of UPK, the prophet was these Christian pastors, man, that did not know the truth, the whole truth. And they were teaching us that stuff. And we were learning it. The Lord took that away. Let's get any more. And the prudent. Now, the prudent is similar to the judge. It's a brother who can look up stuff, who can study, who can get deep into things. And the ancient. The ancient. Where's the old? That was a big saying that a lot of people had, or a lot of black guys had that, when I was young, the OGs said this, and the OGs did that, and the OGs said to let you know what to do, and this, that, they always had that, like an older somebody who would be like a leader, who would, tell brothers, give good brothers game, give which is knowledge, give brothers knowledge that they could use. That's gone. Even in the gangs, where the whole OG come from is older. To me, it was older guy, older gangster. You see what I'm saying? But the original OG, I don't even know what it stands for. Original gangster, which is like the brothers who originated the gangs. You know what I mean? So that OG just became like a term for, like in Indiana, a lot of people just call older guys OGs. He could be a crackhead, he ain't in no gang or nothing, but we'll just refer to him as an OG just because he's older. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you're in California, you can't just call everybody an OG. I don't know. I think the OGs is like, leaders of gangs in California, but everywhere is different. But that's the ancient, the older men that was able to drop that knowledge. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Ward.
Well, Will, sir, I got to see that. I had the privilege of seeing that one time in my life. You know what I'm saying? It was a time where in Louisville, where there was supposed to be 2,000 Klansmen going out down Algonquin, the street right where by the apartments where I stayed at, and I was like 11, 12 years old, and we organized just like that, just that fast. We organized so fast to where the Klans changed their mind. They're like, no, we're not going down there. And the OGs headed it, of course. The OGs was out there because a lot of them were military dudes, old school military dudes that were Vietnam veterans and stuff like that. We organized so quick. Even us little kids was in the war. You know what I'm saying? We was little kids. We was in the war. We had our sticks and rocks and OG. The OGs, they had their guns, and all of that. The Klan said, no, we're not going through that. They organized. We organized so fast. It struck nothing but fear inside them, And I don't even think it was nowhere near. It wasn't even nowhere near 2,000 of us, even in them a little bitty apartment complex.
Right.
They see what we was doing, you know, they was like, oh no, we're not going down there. Mm-hmm. I got to see it one time in my life. A lot of people live their lives that never got to see nothing like that.
Right.
But I knew that thing that stuck with me forever.
Right.
I seen it just happen just that fast. And we had beefs among each other. But when we found out they was coming, trying to come down Algonquin, oh no. We banded together. Niggas that had beef with each other said the hell with that. You know what I'm saying? We niggas forgot all about the beef that we had with each other and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we beefing with other little kids, you know, around the block, and we all put our stuff to the side. We all forget like we never were beefing in the first place.
Right. So something like that, you know what I mean, had a lot of strength to it. This day and age, something like that. I've done seen a video where the Klan was having a rally or something, and one of the Klansmen got separated from the rest of the Klansmen, and black people was like trying to jump on him and beat on him, and there was black people jumping on him and saving his ass and protecting him. You know what I mean? So we didn't fell all the way down from, you know, resisting them to where we just became lovers of them, especially really through the Christian church. You understand? But so that's the ancient. Now let's go to verse 3. The captain of 50, right? The captain of 50. Like the brother said, that's a brother who can organize. All right, like a lot of people don't know, like a shot caller in jail or something. Right. A shot caller in jail, and this is not from my words. This is from a dude who has a YouTube channel where he talks about he did like 20 years in jail. So he talks about, or he did like, I think he did like 12 or 15. He did a long stint in jail, and when he got out, he made a YouTube channel, and he would talk about different shit that went down and how jail is. And he was describing a shot caller, and he said, okay, most people in the world think a shot caller is going to be like some big intimidating guy who goes around intimidating everybody, beating people up or something. And he said, nah, that's not what a shot caller is. You know what I mean? Or one of the bosses in jail. He's not really like that. He described a shot caller as somebody who could organize, who could make money for everybody, who can think. You know what I mean? One of those, more like a cerebral cat, a guy who's more like a mental thinker. You know what I mean? A guy like that. That's what he described the real shot callers were like in prison. They weren't always big or none of that. They just be a regular guy, but, you know, or they can be a small guy, but he's just real smart. You know what I mean? Where he can organize men and get money for the crew and all that. That's the captain of 50 right here in the scriptures. You understand? The captain of 50 ain't somebody who just, you know, is just going to beat up everybody. You know what I mean? The captain of 50 is somebody who can get with those 50 men and make sure they got food, water, make sure they ready for war, make sure they this, they that. You know what I mean? They trained up, they sharp. That's the captain of 50. You understand? And that's what the scriptures is talking about. We don't care about those type of men. We don't care about those type of men. Those type of men are in the Israelite school UPK. And how much care do they get from from blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Right. Kobe Bryant, oh man, you know, oil up the reefs, set up the trees, you know, do you know, thoroughly all black and mourning for 7 days. You understand? And that brother is playing basketball. And the point of the class is, okay, no, you can't be partial to your loving your people. You got to either love your people, like Christ said. He said, love your brother as you love yourself, which is the same as loving your sister as you love yourself. Or you can't don't love your people at all. You understand? You can't have it both ways like that. Probably use that one over there. That plug over there. All right, let's get more on the verse. Isaiah 3:3. And the honorable man. Honorable man. In our culture, the honorable man would be more like a lot of them became politicians. You know, brothers who just got good mouthpieces. They're brothers who, you know, can get along with everybody. Everybody likes, you know what I mean? They became pimps. A lot of honorable men became pimps. You understand? They seen that pimping was a way to get respect and honor, so they went for that. Or becoming a politician was a way to get respect and honor, they went for that. Right. That's the honorable man. You know what I mean? A man who keeps himself above reproach. Not like, he's not like a dirty, mean, cussing, in the street down dirty type dude. He a dude who try to stay above that. You know what I mean? He might get down and dirty when it come to it, but he tries to keep himself seeming like he's above that. That's honorable man. You understand? So a lot of them became pimps. You know what I mean? They always like to stay fly. Right. They always like to look good. They always like to look clean. You know what I mean? They just went down the wrong path because we ain't had a Lord. Right. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Well, sir. And then they transitioned from that because when the white man started cracking down on pimps, then they went inside the Christian church. And that's, they went inside the Christian church and became Christian, took all the knowledge, all the psychology knowledge that they had in the world, when they was pimps, and moved it inside the church. That's why a lot of the Christian pastors have degrees in psychology. They even furthered their knowledge, of that, and got degrees to where when
you got to use this bathroom right there. Just hit the light. If you need anything, just let me know. It ain't got no baby thing though. Yeah, go straight behind that curtain. Taraki, show it real quick. Behind that curtain to your right.
Yeah.
You gotta change his diaper type?
I already did.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
To your right. Go to your right. The light's on your right too. Yep, there you go. So yeah. So that's an honorable man. And a lot of them became pastors and politicians. A lot of them became politicians and little businessmen and stuff like that, and whatnot. But the point is, them type of men was for our people. Now they're gone. They're not for our people. They use all their talents and skills and abilities for the man, for the oppressor.
Right.
You understand? So we waking ourselves back up as a nation. All these men are men that we should mourn. You see what I'm saying? Every single Black, Hispanic, and Native American is a prince of the Lord, prince of the power. You understand? And we should mourn all their deaths. Any one of them dying in an untimely death is not good. Not just the rich ones.
Right.
Not just the ball players. All of them are precious in the eyes of the Lord. And all of them should repent. All of us should repent and keep the law, statutes, commandments. All right? You got something you want to drop?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, like in I think the class yesterday, our whole idea of success has to do with how much white people love us, that individual. If we figure if they accept him, that's just like being a rich man. He could be poor, but if they love you, it's like George Washington Carver. He was poor. He actually turned down riches. He turned down a 6-figure contract with Benjamin Franklin. He never cared much about money. He went into when he did a seminar.
I think it was Gerald R. Ford, that he turned the contract down with.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Gerald R. Ford. We double check on that later, but yeah, hell yeah. But he turned down a lot. Right. Because I remember it said that in his biography, he turned it down. He said he wanted to be at the Black college with Black kids and everything like that, and helping his people. So
he even wore like bummy second hand suits and stuff like that, and they even criticized him on his clothes. But still, though, think about it though. How many Black people would even recognize him if he wasn't accepted and honored and revered by white people?
That's heavy.
We wouldn't even know who he was.
That's heavy. That's why the Lord told us to separate from these people. Right? No, we cannot be one with them. It's never going to happen. We too weak in the mind. The scriptures, we like sheep. You understand? We need a shepherd. We can't sit there and follow behind them. You understand? They are snakes. Right. The Bible called them snakes.
Right.
And then today, dragons. So, are you going to have a sheep with a snake? Come on now. Who you think going to come out on top?
Right.
Sheep or the snake?
Right.
Let alone a sheep without a shepherd. It's over.
Right.
Sheep just walk around and go by, eat grass.
Right.
They don't hunt and run and slither and hide and post and coil and strike. They don't do none of that.
They ain't killing, you know,
Yeah.
they ain't, you know.
We're not on that.
They just grazing and, you know.
Right. That's how the Lord describes us.
Right.
So, you know, how are we going to sit there and join the snakes and think that, you know, we about to have an equal footing and everything's going to be too good and shit?
Right.
Excuse my language. All right. So the rest of verse 3. And the counselor. Now, you got a lot of brothers who got good, a lot of brothers and sisters and whatnot that got good abilities in counseling. You understand? Which is a role where a person can empathize with you. Somebody who can put themselves in your shoes. You understand? That's somebody who could be a counselor. You know what I mean? Somebody who can't put themselves in your shoes, you can't be a counselor because you too narcissistic, you too selfish. You're only thinking about yourself. So why would you even care to see what somebody else is going through? So you got people who are real good with that, real empathetic, it's a natural talent, ability, and they like it. You understand? They like helping people. They like, you know, giving people information and knowledge and stuff like that. Officer Trot, a great counselor in the Israelite school U.P.K. Clap that up for him. You understand? You know what I mean? A great brother in the school who's a counselor. General Hyman, Captain Azaria, Captain Malquad, Captain Kahantham Yad, you know, Captain Gadar. These are brothers who are great counselors. You know what I mean? Who can, you know, give you good info on what to do in a crisis. All right. Let me get more. Now, in the world, them counselors have become, what have they become? Right-hand man to drug dealers. A lot of the women that would be counselors have become madams and just became just suck prostitutes in, but they have an ability to help those prostitutes, so they just become a madam and be helping just prostituting like a pimp as a woman, become madams. You know what I mean? So that's what we have become. That's what we did with our talents and stuff without the Lord. Being counselors, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Okay, I remember the show The Wire.
Yeah.
Man, that is crazy because you had these dudes, you know, that had these gifts, you know, that you're talking about, and you could see the gifts, but you could see them, you know, to monopolize the drug game in Baltimore.
Right.
They're using it for that. Like, damn, and these dudes are really sharp.
Mm-hmm. Like that dude, the one who wanted to get into real estate. The right hand man to the dude.
Oh, Stringer Bell.
Stringer Bell. He would be like a counselor. Yeah, I mean, among other things, like these, Israel don't just fit into one category. We can be, right. You can be a mighty man and a counselor. You can be a man of war and a judge. You can be multiple things. That brother Stringer Bell, he had some good counsel in him. You understand? Because when he was with his homie, he was able to tell that homie dude good info and give him intel and this and that, so that dude can run the game. And they was rolling.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when they split apart, that's when, you know, he started making bad decisions and, you know, he got screwed over and this and that.
Right.
But that's a brother who had the spirit of a counselor.
Yeah, if I will, sir. And where he messed up at was he didn't take the counsel of the street dude, because Stringer Bell he wanted to be an uptown dude. Yeah. You know, while Avon was, you know, he understood who he was. Everybody's not going to be the same thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when Avon didn't want to be what he figured that their whole little thing was supposed to be about, and that caused a serious problem right there, because Avon could have put him up on game that he didn't understand the uptown world like that. You know? And that's why you always got to listen to one another. You just can't, you know, block one another out and stuff like that, because that's where Stringer Bell started to mess up. And he, like you said, he started making, to be such a smart dude, he started making some of the dumbest decisions. Right. Damn right. Let's get more in the scripture. Damn right, that was heavy. Verse 3. And the cunning artificer. The cunning artificer. That's somebody who's good with their hands. Right. Somebody who's good with making stuff, putting stuff together. You know, they can make a computer, they can fix an engine, they can fix a window, they can do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. They good with their hands. The scripture talks about all these men, but it don't say one is greater than the other. No. It don't say more than one and don't more than the other. It don't say, okay, since somebody play basketball, care about him, but don't care about your other Black, Hispanic, and Native American people. We got to be able to put value on all our people, not just the rich and the famous.
You know what I mean? That's the spirit of the Lord when you put value on all your people. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, you don't know what a brother can do or what a brother can become.
Right.
You know what I mean? We look at black people as the same way the oppressor looks at us, as commodities. What job do you do? What's your job? Well, oh, okay, that's your job. Well, then I'll treat you like this because you work that job. That's how the oppressor treats us.
Right.
You understand? Oh, okay, this is a high-priced slave, so I treat him like a high-priced slave. Oh, it's a low-quality slave. You can treat him like shit because he's I don't pay him. He's a low-quality slave to me because I don't pay him that much. Right. Oh, that's a medium-quality slave, so I talk to him like he's a human being. You know, that's how the oppressor looks at us. By our job and our slave and you know, what's important to him. To the Lord, all of them is important. Because the Lord is wiser than us. You understand? A brother or sister that's a doctor is just as important as a brother or sister who's not a doctor. You understand? To the Most High. Because the Most High is not a respecter of persons. You know what I mean? And that's been a big thing that, the UPK been teaching, especially since this didn't happen. The Lord is not a respecter of persons. You know what I mean? The Lord is not going to look at one man because he's rich and famous differently than a man who's not rich and famous. All right, let's get more. And the eloquent orator. All right, the eloquent orator, that's a man similar to the men that went into the pimp game. You understand? Similar to the men that became preachers, similar to the men that became politicians. Right. You understand? Eloquent speakers, rappers. Right. The brothers who became rappers. Right. You understand? Them are eloquent orators. Right. Go ahead.
Well, sir. And actually, the job of the eloquent orator is to encourage you to do what's right by words. Mm-hmm. Just like King David, he was an eloquent orator. Mm-hmm. When you go into Psalms, now you sit there and take his Psalms and put that into a song. And what would that empower? Because we move by music. You know what I'm saying? We move by music a lot of the time. Music can tell us to do any damn thing.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? And we'll do it. Mm-hmm. Now, take these words of songs and everything and break that down to a cold song like what the I.S.U.P.K does. And what do? You encourage that person to not only to stay in the truth, but to be powerful inside of it.
Damn right. I was trying breaking it down heavy. You understand? Let's get more on verse 4. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. Right? This right here is talking about, it's not talking about the children. This is talking about the oppressor, the heathens. They are like children over us. You understand? That's why even the Senate and all the Congress and all that, these are supposed to be all the great college-educated wise men of this kingdom. All they do is continue the debt of America. Right. They keep pushing the debt on. You know, why? Because they don't want to, they're like children. They don't want to have to face the music now. Right. They rather keep pushing it down. You know what I mean? That's the same thing they're going to do until the Lord destroy them. You understand? That's why they keep pushing it down the road. And then when their judgment day comes, they're going to be sitting there crying. Right. You understand? Right. Wishing they never got judged by the Lord. You understand? Right. And all of that. It's cool. Maybe we make noise. It ain't about nothing, class. Maybe it makes as much noise as you want. Go ahead.
One of the prime examples, with the prime example above all of a babe ruling over us is the Jewish man.
Right.
Because the Jewish man, let you say anything against you can talk about slavery, they can all of that. And he ain't got no empathy for that at all. But you talk about the Holocaust, and you criticize that. First thing they start doing, they start crying. Just like what happened with General YAHANNA when he said, when he talked about the Holocaust with that devil that was out there, and what he do? He started crying to cloud you out, to make everybody sympathize with him, just like he's a baby.
Right.
Make everybody sympathize with him, right? To go against you.
Yeah. Hey, Monty, I ain't worried about the baby crying. I ain't worried about that. He can cry all day on the thing. People need to hear baby crying.
Right. Well, it goes right along with the topic, don't it?
Yeah, it goes along with the topic. Shoot, all the abortions in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. Shoot, we hardly hear babies crying.
Right.
That's what Commander YAHANNA prophesied years ago. He said, with these abortions and all that, you ain't even going to see babies anymore, hardly. You're going to hardly even see children. And we live in that now.
Right.
You hardly even see children nowadays. You understand? You can go a long period of time without seeing no kids. Luckily for us, our barracks is next to a school. So we're blessed to see some kids. But, man, you hardly see them nowadays.
Right. True that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least with the kids, back in the day, if they get inside the school, you can mold them up the way that they're supposed to be. Right. Damn, it's a bad situation if they not inside the I.S.U.P.K. It really is. It's a very bad situation. I feel sorry for a lot of the kids that we see, like, over at the school over there.
Right.
Because I'm like, damn, their parents, most likely, a lot of times, they ain't going to come into the truth.
Damn. Yeah,
so it's kind of rough. It's a bittersweet deal.
If the baby needs some water, we got water or something. Or maybe get. Oh, he's sleeping. Okay, no sweat. Oh, that's right. If you can get that dog. Yeah, I ain't worried about the baby crying. He can cry. Yeah. Take baby, go to sleep. Hey, shalom. But yeah, like I was saying, the Commander YAHANNA prophesied we hardly even see babies. You understand? Babies are precious. Babies is super important to our nation because that's our future of our nation. You understand? So we got to continue to build that. You know what I mean? We got to stop these abortions. We got to stop all this baby murdering and killing that's been going on with our people.
That's right.
All right. So let's get some more on the scripture. Go to let's start at verse 5. Let's get Isaiah 3 and 5.
Come.
Get that. Isaiah 3 and 5.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another.
The people shall be oppressed, every one by another. You understand? This is talking about the Israelites, us. We be oppressed by the oppressor, which is the man, you understand? And we also being oppressed by each other. How we being oppressed by each other? Oppress everyone by another. What is that talking about, Officer Desire?
Like saying, even okay, I'm oppressed, you oppressed. Even if I got money, I'm still oppressed because I'm forced to sell my own people out.
That's true, but not exactly on it. You want to get like more down into it. I'm gonna give you an example. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you got your woman. She comes home from work from the slavery, and she's being oppressed on the slavery. You understand? It's hard work. She's being oppressed. It's stressful. It's this. It's that. All type of stuff is going on. When she comes home, what a lot of times, who's she going to take out the stress and the anger on? Her man or her children. She's going to take that stress and the pain and out. She's going to take that out on her children. In the Israelite school, I.S.U.P.K is like, it's a little foreign to us because we've been learning how to deal with it. And we're dealing with a lot of men who are a lot more stronger, especially in the spirit. So we're not really dealing with it. We don't see it being done as much, but that's what happens. You understand? Back in the day, the Boondocks, they did a perfect example of that. The dude, Uncle Ruckus, who hate black people, right? His dad, they showed his upbringing, right? His dad would always go to work. His dad had a job as a cop dummy. So he would be there, and the cops would beat on him to practice beating black people in the streets. You understand? So they would, do the move on him, hit him with the club, punch him, kick him, do the moves on him so they can know how to do it on black people in the streets. So they'd be beating on him and treating him like shit. Then he would come home and beat on the kids. You understand? And be like, I hate you niggas, I'm this and that. So that was in the cartoon. I'm not saying that's the real job. It could have been a real job. I don't know. It probably was. Especially slavery. That's just it'd be a slave that you just beat on. You know what I mean? He probably ain't even good for nothing. You just beat on him and he's just, you know, weak and can't really work or defend himself, and he just gets beat on all the time and treated like garbage. That slave will beat others. You understand? Or, for example, you get bullied at school, or bullied at home. They always show the bully, his dad is real abusive to him. So he comes to school and beats on the other kids. So we oppress each other through the oppression we getting from the white man, from the oppressor. You understand? So you'll come and you oppress from your slavery. If you in the world, you'll take it out on your woman.
Right.
You'll take it out on your kids. You'll take it out on your homies. You'll take it out on whoever you can. You know what I mean? Anything that happens. You understand? So this is talking about that dynamic. The woman, they come home off the slavery, take it out on the man, take it out on the children. Shit, the kids can come home with problems and take it out on their little brothers and little sisters.
Right.
Without the truth, we are basically, we are lost. So a lot of the stuff we're dealing with, we don't know how to deal with it. So a lot of that happens when we oppress each other. The black person on your job who's the manager, you think he really wants to get into it with everybody? You think he wants to be hated? He done became that role because the oppressor wants him in that role.
Right.
He done joined that role because he feels his safety from the oppressor. So he's like, well, look, I'll treat these niggas any type of way, but I got love and I'll have a secure job from the oppressor.
Right.
It's not because he just thought about it. Like, let me come to work and be hated, and everybody don't like me, and niggas talk shit about me, and I want to be a suck up. No, the oppressor creates that position for him,
right,
and oppresses him to do what he wants. Go ahead, Trop. I know you had something to say.
We've been so, man, that's heavy what you bringing out, Cap, because we've been so heavily seasoned in that type of mindset that we think having haters is a good thing.
Yeah, right.
And we don't even look into why they're hating us. If they're hating us behind something that we're doing wrong, we'll say, no, they're hating me because of my success.
That's what we are. That's what we equate it to.
Right.
And what does that mean? Because the oppressor put them in a position to have to be somebody to do things that are not desirable, maybe wrong, maybe evil, all of that, wicked, all of that. Like, for example, I remember you telling me the story of your auntie. They had gave her a raise and put her in a managerial position. But they put her in a position so she could fire all the black people.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? So they raised her up so she could be hated, so she could take the hate, so she could take all that they don't want to take for doing it. They have her take the blame and her seen as the bad guy. That happens all day, every day, on every job site, all across the country.
Right, right.
So we're being oppressed one by another. That's why the brotherhood class is so important. That's why what Christ told us is so important. You understand? That we have to, have a lot more, like Captain Zaryak always said, we need a lot more, what's the word he always used? Compassion for each other. You understand? Like, we all going through certain things through the stressors that could be pushed on us. We'd be damn near forced to push it on each other.
Right.
You understand? Like, here's a perfect example. They always used to say, like, one of the black mom sayings, kid want McDonald's. The mom say, you got McDonald's money?
Right.
You understand? That saying ain't because she don't want to give her kid some nice McDonald's food. She probably wouldn't care if she had some good McDonald's food. But she don't have the money to do it. And you asking her on it is causing more pressure on her. And she's already got pressure. So she has to put it back on you to make you feel bad for asking that, because it makes her feel bad when you ask her for something and she can't give it to you.
Right.
So she feels bad, so she got to say it back to you to make you feel bad, so you stop asking her for that. That's the oppression. We oppress one by another. We got to oppress each other because we under oppression. That's why we got to have a lot more understanding for each other and compassion. Go ahead, Ward.
If I could, like the general brought out, like that same what you said, like, do you got McDonald's money?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna cost that young kid to grow up and be a drug dealer.
All right.
By the time he gets a certain age, he's gonna be a drug dealer. He's gonna want this and want that. And by the time he's 18, 19, he's gonna be either looking at prison time or dead.
Right.
Yeah. He's gonna think I need to get McDonald's money. That's the only way that things are going to be right in this house.
Right.
You know, because my own mom damn near turned against me because I don't have McDonald's money.
Right.
You understand? And that's not because your mom hates you and don't want you to have McDonald's. She probably would love to give you all types of food in McDonald's.
Right.
But she can't. So that's where the oppression comes in for one for another. Go ahead.
Right. And that's real heavy what we was bringing out too, because that is what sets the ball rolling in that. But then here's the thing: they burden the child with grown people's problems, and that's not a good thing to do. He got them 7.
Right.
And check this out. I remember a story where it was a devil mechanic that used to work on, mopeds and stuff like that. He mopeds and cars and stuff like that. But I was over there with my buddy Courtney, from back in the day, and the dude was telling the story. He said that he didn't even know that his family was poor.
Damn.
He said
he was a devil.
Right, he was a devil. Now, his parents never told him that they were poor. They was poor as I don't know what, but his parents never told him that.
Right.
He said that they called bologna steak. Right? So when he goes to school, he's like, this kid says something like, "We never have steak." And he's like, "I have steak every night. I have steak," you know what I'm saying? We have steak all the time. Because he looked at the bologna as steak. Because his peoples never told him that he was poor. That's one of the things that you know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that can block a person from being a drug dealer. He didn't grow up to sell drugs. He grew up to own his own business. He didn't knock meth or none of that. He grew up to start his own business. Started a successful mechanic shop and all of that, who everybody in the hood goes to get their stuff fixed. And perception is something else. You shouldn't even in reality, we shouldn't even never tell our little bitty kids that we're poor.
Right.
We tell them that we're rich, and then minds might have the mindset of someone that can actually take off.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And they won't sit there and look at selling drugs as as something that they should do. Go ahead.
Right. Like that's a powerful point you bringing out, because look at these oppressors.
Right.
Look at how their kids get rolled.
Right.
How to own stuff, how to be a business leader, how to be a
Right.
leader.
Right.
You understand? But see, we get brought up on how to be a worker.
Right.
How to be a slave. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You need to be a good slave. Go to college, get an education, go work somewhere good, paying good money. You understand? Other than that,
Right.
That's the difference. There's a difference between the oppressor household and Israel's household.
Right. And they were actually really poor.
Right.
They were really poor. They were the bottom level people that grew up like on Winkler Avenue and all of that stuff. But they never told their children that.
And if I could, they spiritually still poor, because with all they got, they still not happy.
Yeah,
they still want to
which is
be
true.
us at the end of the day.
Yeah, which is true.
What they can never be.
What's their perception, though? Because what he can do, he can sit there and have white people go, and he can charge them less than what he charged black people for going and getting their stuff fixed.
Right.
So what does that do?
That's happening.
You see what I'm saying?
What's going on?
So that caused him to come up.
Right.
He's a successful mechanic.
Want to know why?
It came from
Want to know why though? Because who is in need more?
Yeah.
Who needs it more?
Right. And not only that, but perception is something else too, because people can perceive, how you perceive, yourself, your family, all of that, they can smell it.
Right. Now hold on. Let's get the rest of verse 5.
Come.
Let's keep moving. Go ahead.
And everyone by his neighbor.
Right. So we oppress everyone, even our neighbor. You understand? We oppress other blacks. One black is successful, one black isn't. They're gonna hate the other because the other is not successful, or vice versa. The one that's unsuccessful gonna hate the successful Israelite because they're successful. Go ahead.
The child shall behave himself proudly against the accident.
The ancient.
Like against the ancient.
Mm-hmm.
And the base against the honorable.
Right here is talking about basically a lot of the rich and the poor, young and the old, a lot of the internal beefs that blacks and Hispanics have against each other. What do the older blacks always say about the younger blacks? Oh, y'all this, y'all that, y'all messed up this, y'all messed up that, and in my generation, blah, 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 blah. What are the younger blacks saying about the older blacks? Oh, y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't doing enough. Y'all was this, and y'all was that. You know, y'all wasn't there. Y'all didn't do this. Any argument they have against each other, that's what we have against each other. You don't see old white men battling younger white men.
Right.
But you're going to see that in our people. You understand? That's what the scripture prophesies is going to happen. You understand? This is a precept of offspring of the curses that will happen to us. You understand? So the young against the old, the base against the honorable. So you had the poor black, shoot, he hate the rich black because he's rich, and so he say he's snooty. The rich black hate the poor black because he's poor and he's not rich and he's not snooty or he's not whatever.
Right.
So they hating each other.
Right.
Hold on. Now let's get some more in the scripture.
Come. When a man shall take hold of his brothers of the house of his father, saying, thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler.
Right there. Right there. Be thou our ruler. Get the rest.
And let this ruin be under thy hand.
That's what black people do. We looking for some rich black person, some rich person to be our ruler. Michael Jordan is just a black leader somehow because he won 6 championship basketball tournaments. He won 6 basketball tournaments. So somehow now he's the leader of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because he got some shoes with his name on it, and he won 6 basketball tournaments. He's the leader. That's what this is talking about. We saying to our brother, we looking at, okay, we destroyed. Well, let's look for, another black to be our leader and be our ruler, and just say, so we can follow him and everything could be under him. Oh, yeah, what is he going to say about this black issue? What is Tyson going to say? What is this athlete going to say? What is this rich black person going to say? Will Smith, Denzel, somebody. We looking for anybody to be the black leader. Shit, Tyler Perry's now a black leader because he done made some damn funny movies about a damn grandma that's a damn, that's running around slapping people, and it's a man in a woman's suit. And now he's a black leader because of that. Right. We're just basically looking for anybody to be the black leader.
Right.
We're just looking for anybody. Go ahead.
The drug dealers are black leaders.
Shoot. We're looking for the drug dealer to be the black leader. He got money. People know him. He's a black leader, man. He's a community leader. Shoot, we all look up to him. Because the scripture said we destroyed for lack of knowledge. We don't have nowhere near enough knowledge. And the way we're going to get it is through the Israelite school of UPK.
Right.
There's no other school of thought that's built to combat what we're dealing with in these ghettos. That's right. There's no other school of thought. Muslims ain't equipped to deal with it. Because if they were equipped, they would have did more than have million-man marches that did shit. And ain't changed shit. Excuse my language. Martin Luther King and the Christians would have did it because they had their time to shine during the civil rights era. They was meeting the president, doing this, meeting that, doing marches all across the goddamn Selma Bridge and all that, getting black people's heads smacked up, getting the kids hit with water hoses and dogs. Shoot, they had their time for everybody to do what they said to do. So if they was going to fix the damn problem, shoot, it would have been fixed by now. Nobody got the answer except the Israelite school of UPK.
That's right.
You understand? And as time goes by, we start to see why the Israelite school of UPK is the only one that got the answer. And more people learn from us and learn why we the only ones that got the answer. You understand?
Right.
And learn why that Christian church. Look at that woman that called Kobe Bryant a nigger. Come on now. They're not equipped to even think about that. What's a Christian going to say about that? I mean, be honest. What's a Christian going to say about a white woman on the news calling a black ball player a nigger? really the whole team, because she said the Los Angeles niggers.
Right.
So she really calling the whole team niggers. What's the Christian going to tell you to deal with that? How the Christian going to tell you to deal with that?
Right.
If you was personally offended by that, what is the Christian church going to tell you? You gotta learn forgiveness. Basically means you gotta suck all that up, suck all the disrespect up, and then what? What are you gonna do with all that? That's where it goes back to the black community. You say you ain't gonna say nothing about that white woman. You gotta forgive her.
Right.
So all that hatred and anger and feelings, do you feel some type of way about that? That's gonna it's gonna transfer all the way to who you can blame, which is black men, which is number one. You can blame black men for any damn thing. Right. You understand? My child wasn't a success. He went to jail. It's his daddy's fault. His daddy wasn't there. His daddy didn't do this. Daddy didn't do that. You can easily blame him. You understand? He could be in jail or dead. It's his fault still. You understand? Then you can blame, the black community. All the niggas in the black community, what they call it, the Pookies and Ray Rays.
Right. Right.
That's what they be called it. Go ahead.
If I could, I got in an argument with a Jake at the slavery last night. We was talking about sports and stuff, you know what I'm saying, and how he just, I'll make sure I'm gonna go get me this Kobe Bryant jersey, this and that. Oh, don't let me see no Gigi jersey. I'm gonna get that too. You know what I'm saying?
That's his daughter, huh?
And I'm like, damn.
The Gigi jersey.
Yeah, his daughter.
She played too. I mean,
so you know what I'm saying? Get that too. Like,
okay.
But what support is they gonna show you if you was to die?
Exactly.
Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That was cut. That's why you was arguing with him. He got cut.
This man sitting there arguing with me about Tom Brady. First of all, you arguing with me about a devil that won't give you a dime.
Right.
Like, your team irrelevant though. Your team ain't even in there. I mean, we ain't talking about that. We talking about your team. You understand?
Right.
Then he would have talking about, we would have talked about Magic Johnson. I said he a sellout. You know what I'm saying? This man got mad and went to argue. Like, okay, how does this man sell out? How does this man sell out? What is he doing for our people?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said, what black man owns anything? He said, Magic Johnson owned Dodge. I said, okay, what is that doing for you?
Yo, wait a minute, hold on. What is that? Lock you. I don't mean to cut you off, Warrior. Is that what he said for real?
Right.
He said he owns Dodge. You know how long Dodge been around?
Right.
No, what he is, he's like the cream of wheat man on the cream of wheat box.
Right.
Cream of wheat man don't own or Uncle Ben's on the box of rice.
Exactly.
Right. He don't own a damn thing. He's just the face of it to make more black people want to buy Dodge.
Right. And if I could, I didn't break it down like you did, but like I said, okay, and him owning Dodge, what is that doing for our people? What is that doing for the people in the ghettos? I mean, just because dumbass niggas in the ghetto don't want to work and do nothing.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
That's what he said.
There you go.
Hire these people over here.
That's the scripture right there. What it's talking about. Where it said we oppress one another and whatnot. You understand? Everyone by another. Everyone by his neighbor. There you go.
Right.
Because Magic Johnson ain't do nothing for black people. Niggas in the hood ain't shit.
Right.
Ain't that so?
And like I can't even argue. I can't even debate with this guy. Like, he's not gonna get it.
He's
not gonna get it. He don't even understand why black leaders is not doing for black people.
Exactly.
And then they ask me like, okay, so how is he a sellout though? Because he's not doing for black people. Like, we all grown. Like, we got. But shit. What cracker is gonna go somewhere by himself? He needs other crackers. You understand? He needs other devils. You understand? He's not gonna just do it by himself. Donald Trump needed his dad. You understand?
Right.
Gave him $1 million out of high school. Where did his dad get it from?
Right.
Exactly. He needed other devils to give that to him.
Right.
So
right.
And then
they don't even think like that. Go ahead.
Because I was around in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? When Donald Trump was having all of these business fails. He wasn't only being. Remember the description when it says a rich man is held up by his friends.
Right.
Because he had rich friends.
Right.
He was known for failing in business in the 80s. Donald Trump was known for that.
Right.
All of his, investments, they failed. They kept failing. He was known for his businesses failing. All of his investments and all of that failing in the 80s. But as the scriptures say, a rich man is held up by his friends.
Right.
And it said he said things that he ought not. Well, Donald Trump got on there and said, he became president and said a lot of things that no other president has said before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So he done screwed over all these business deals, but he got rich friends. All of the money he originally had, and they can obviously loan him $200,000.
Right.
$2 million, $2 million loan. They feel like he's gonna pay him back. He's good for it. He's rich like I am rich. It's like if I loaned you $40. I mean, eventually you think I'll be able to pay you back $40. I'll be able to get $40 back eventually. Right. I got a job, bro.
Right.
So you give me the $40. Right. But $40 to them is $2 million.
Right.
Borrow you the $2 million, he feels like you're gonna pay it back. You are with all millionaires.
Right.
So that's how they held him up.
Right.
You know what I mean? All the way till today, where now he's the damn president of this disgusting country.
So I used to say all kind of messed up stuff like, you know, to grab him by the, box and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, he's silly, Yeah. But they were in college with him. You know what I'm saying? They were in college with him and they were all grabbing him by the box, So they sat there, they just laughed at him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Now, this is heavy. Let's get verse 7. Come on. Damn right.
In that day shall he swear.
Now, they go into this black guy. Look, you're rich. You're famous. Be a ruler over us. In that day, that guy's going to swear. Go ahead.
Saying, I will not be a healer.
He is not going to be a healer. This rich and famous black guy's telling all black America, I'm not a role model. Don't look to me. I'm not nobody you're supposed to look up to. Don't do what I do. Do your own thing. I'm not a black role model. I'm nothing. I'm not going to be a healer. I'm not going to help your people. Go ahead.
For in my house is neither bread nor clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Make me not a ruler of the people.
He's like, shoot, I don't got enough money to help black people. They need to help themselves with the money. I don't got no money for black people. Right. That's what it means to say I don't have no bread nor clothing. He actually has bread and clothing, but to him, it's not enough to give to nobody.
Right.
He actually has these rich athletes. Actually, Kobe Bryant, he was spending $10,000 to $20,000 a month just to go on a helicopter, go place to place. He getting on a helicopter, go here and there and every damn where. He's spending $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Just in some months, he don't use the helicopter. He just got it on standby. He got to pay a pilot every year. He got to pay a pilot's price. He's got to pay to have the licenses and the gas, and he's got to pay to house it. He's got to pay to clean it. He's got to pay all that just to have it on deck. Right. He's paying $20,000 a month if he use it or don't use it. He's been doing that for 20 years. All the years he's been in the NBA because they said he didn't want to play. He don't like the planes or something. Right. I think somebody was racist to him on a plane, so he stopped being on planes. And, he probably didn't want to spend it for a jet, so he bought a copter. But, so he's spending all that money, but to him, I don't got enough money to help black people. It's like somebody who I was arguing with about Jay-Z. And they were putting Jay-Z on this great pedestal. I'm like, Jay-Z is overrated. He's not as great as everybody trying to make him out to be. He really ain't shit. That's what I was saying. That's my argument. You know what I mean? They're like, well, why do you say that? He had great songs and this and that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, but what was he doing for his people? Well, how many songs was actually uplifting our people? You understand? Oh, he had songs back in the day that was uplifting our people. I'm like, okay, but it should be, if he really going to help our people, he should have a plethora of songs, hundreds of songs that's helping us. He got like 1, 2, 3, or 4. You know what I'm saying? Make it quick.
He told his whole mind doing that song called The Evils. Does anybody remember that song?
No, I ain't listened to Jay-Z.
Check that song out. He showed who he really is in that song. You know what I'm saying? And that was a song that he came out with, I think it was the Blueprint 2 or something like that.
What was he saying?
Oh, man. He said something like, I'm not trying to ask forgiveness for my sins and such a, and, he's pretty much saying, I'm on this side solidly. And you got to listen to the lyrics of it, because back then people didn't know it.
He probably saying what the scripture's saying. He's swearing, I will not be a healer of this people. I'm not going to be a leader of this people. Basically,
he went even darker than that. He went
worse than that.
He went worse than that.
Oh,
he went even darker, than that.
Yeah, that's a prophecy.
Pretty much right. He let him know, he said, I don't pray to God, I pray to God eat. You know what I'm saying?
Basically all about money, basically.
Right.
And then some Italian that can get him some money. That's what he cares about. He don't care about God or his people or none of that shit.
He cares nothing about none of that.
Yeah, I figure. So, and that's what I was telling him too. I'm like, man, Jay-Z overrated. We shouldn't even be being they all on his ride. You know, I'm like, man, F that dude. You know what I mean? He ain't helping black people. They said he gave a lot of money to Katrina when Katrina went down. I said, okay, he helped some people that were dying and starving with some of his excess millions of dollars. I mean, that ain't I mean, anybody should do that. If you see a whole city of people that's dying and destroyed, I mean, somebody should give them something. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that wasn't nothing amazing. That's like a one-time thing. You're supposed to be helping your people all across the board. You understand? All across the board. Like, let me get back to the scripture where we at. Hold on one second. Okay, bam. But to them, how much money should Jay-Z give? But they, at the same time, they want to say, he's the first black billionaire. Him and Beyonce got $1 billion. They'll talk about that. Yeah. But then when you say he should be helping his people, they act like, well, how much money should he give? He don't, he already helping already. He helping enough. Right. He doing enough. He gave 100,000. He gave $200,000 to somebody. That's like $2 to a billionaire. But he's so big and famous and rich, right? Huh? Right. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Right, but Will, sir. And what they do is they don't give it to the people. They give it to the people that head the greedy, you know what I'm saying, the funding and all of that.
Yeah, the charitable organizations.
Right. They give to that.
Right.
The people don't get anything.
Right. That's why the scripture said, oh, I don't have enough bread and clothing don't be making me a ruler. I don't have enough. You know what I mean? I don't have enough for my house. Right. To Jay-Z, he don't have enough money for his family. He be rapping songs about getting a $10 million painting or a $2 million painting, and then it'll be $10 million for his kids. Right. So to him, you know, he got to hold that $2 million for that painting because his kids need $10 million when it re-up. Right. He don't got enough for you. He don't got enough to help you. He don't got enough to help his people. Right. That's the same shit the scriptures say. I don't got enough for my house. Right. You know, I only got 30 million for my kids. That's not enough. Right. Go ahead, Warren.
If I could, like, that's what this society teaches us. Just be good slaves. You go to college, you is like, even school, like, it just to teach you to focus on yourself. Right. Don't worry about nobody else. I mean, they on their own. Your people, they on their own. You understand? You just focus on yourself, get your stuff together, and just live a happy life. Other than that, I mean, don't worry about anybody else.
Right. The word sacrifice don't exist in the black community. No. Sacrifice for your fellow man, for the good of all. None of that is even. Come on, man. Black people ain't not trying to hear that coming out to Christian church. Right. You know what I mean? So that's what this scripture is talking about. Get more in verse 7. Read that part again for in my house. Verse 7.
And in that day.
Now go down to 4 in my house.
For in my house is neither bread nor clothing.
In my house ain't enough. Shoot, Jay-Z. How much money they were saying this? How much money should Jay-Z give? They was like offended that Jay-Z should give some of his millions of dollars to help anybody. Right. You got, he's got supposed to be what, $500 million. I mean, how about you give $400 million for your people? You still have $100 million left. Right. I mean, is $100 million not enough to feed yourself and to give yourself some clothing? Right. Is that not enough? Wow. Is $100 million not enough for your kids to eat food every day, and you to eat food every day, and to wear clothes every day? Because that's what it all comes down to. You eating and got clothes, right?
You know what?
Go ahead.
Sir, Jay-Z can sit there. What he can do is he has enough money to where if he was to come to the hood, he could have an entourage with him like the president would have, full of protection. You know what I'm saying? So that he will be protected while he go and do things for the hood. And all of them celebrities. They would be treated like they could come down 10th Street. They would be totally protected. Hell, the president comes down, streets, right? Right. Then why the hell can't they come down the streets and do things for black people and make sure that money actually goes where it needs to go? Right? And they have security around them because they can afford to have it. He can afford to have 50, 60 dudes around him at all times.
Right. And armed dudes. And this will get even deeper than that too. Because even when you look into all the, like Trayvon Martin, his family had to pay for a lawyer. Where was all these rich blacks at? Right. When you see all these black men getting arrested on false charges, where's these black leaders? We can easily exonerate these men. Give them a good lawyer, get them right. You know what I mean? Get them out the drug. Right. They're not worried about our people. That's why the scripture says, "Don't make me a ruler over the house," and this and that. Right. So we have to follow the Israelite school of UPK on the Commander YAHANNA. Right. Because Commander YAHANNA will do that. With the money he gets from the tithes and everything like that, he will help us as a people. He will pay for brothers to get out of jail. He will pay for lawyers. He will pay for rents and food and shelter and clothing. He will do that. When Kobe wouldn't give a damn. Right. You could be dying of cancer. You need $2. And somebody sent Kobe a message, he wouldn't give a damn to respond.
Even if they sent him a message, I don't know them people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He like Floyd Mayweather.
He wouldn't help you with. They said, "Look, we only need $2, Kobe." He'll say somebody else should give it. Right. And he's rich. Right. Flying on a helicopter. Right. Here to there. Right.
Go ahead. That got him paying all this money to fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
But you can't give $2. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody hit his inbox. Right. Somebody close to him hit his inbox. It probably was family members.
I mean, it's just something that we don't know because we're not rich. But when you get to a certain level of status of being rich, you are supposed. It's like you're supposed to be philanthropic with your money. You're supposed to have charities and donations. Yeah. Right. When you get to a certain amount of level with money, you're supposed to help others with that money. That would be immoral to have all this money and not help nobody with it. And not be like, all right, I help thousands of people with this money all the time. Like even devils do it. Right. When you go to like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, yeah. They hold. No, I'm good. They don't even work. They take on a philanthropic adventure. I'm gonna try to cure cancer. So they take like $100 million of their money and spend the whole year trying to cure cancer.
Oh, sure. Well,
and that's normal for the super rich to do. Right. So when a black person becomes super rich, we try to not do that. Right. We go out our way to not do that. Yeah. Go ahead, Warrior.
We'll right quick, Warrior. A lot of them don't even spend their own money. They apply for a grant. Mm-hmm. So they don't even got to touch their own money because their own race helps them out. Yeah. That's how, because when I used to hang at the strip clubs, it used to be, the bar that I used to hang at and everything. I'm like, man, it's not turning over money like that. I knew the ins and outings of the business that they did. I'm like, it's not turning a profit like that. Right. So I'm like, damn, how can Bob and them go on vacations every 3 months? They going on vacation every 3 months.
All right.
Expensive vacation, very expensive vacations, cruises and all of that. Then I found out the secret. Grants. They're getting grants. That's where they don't even have to touch their own money. And that's philanthropy right there. Philanthropy, we good. You got people that call themselves, you got black people that call themselves philanthropists just because they got some money when they don't even understand the inner workings of philanthropy. Right. I know a bit because I was around those type of people. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's how I learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say, like you were bringing out with the black leaders that got money that don't do for their people. There's one that do for their people, and we all know who that is in this room. Commander General YAHANNA.
Damn right. Yeah. And we gonna be the real philanthropists.
Damn right.
We're gonna be the real ones. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So much so the nation's gonna be gnashing their damn teeth. Like I can't believe that they're real tough.
Let's see if we got any questions online. Any more in that scripture? Somebody said they remember that song D Evils. It was from Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
Jay-Z CD.
Yeah. I call it The Evil. That's not anywhere. Same difference.
All right, go ahead with that scripture.
Khan, for Jerusalem is ruined.
Jerusalem is ruined. You understand? That's what they say. Shoot. Why should I help black people, man? They ruined. They done. What? They destroyed. Black people ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. They'll say that.
Right.
Black men ain't shit. They got to get their own shit together. They, you know, they ruined, basically. They destroyed. So why should I help destroy anything? Even though it's your own people. Go ahead.
And Judah is falling.
Shoot, black men are falling and never going to get up. So why should I give them a hand? That's how they think. That's how they see it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord.
What do they say? Black men are criminals. They thugs. They don't take, you know, they don't do right. They just that. They just that. Shoot. They got a point. That's why this whole devolution, which is a de-evolution, basically us going down. You know what I mean? It all started from the curses of us not keeping the law, statutes, commandments. That's where it all started. It all started from our forefathers having the law, statutes, commandments, but deciding to worship other gods. Worship the Greeks. They got money. Worship this, worship that. I was reading in the Apocrypha the other day. It said there were certain evil men that hated their own people.
Right.
And this is during the time when the Maccabees was whooping the Greeks' ass.
Right.
And the Lord was with us. But they were going against the Maccabees. And the scripture says they hated their own people.
Right.
That part right there ain't got nothing to do with the curses on that part. Now that's just wickedness of Israel. You understand? They can't say that's because the curses we acting like that. You hating your own people is because that's what they will own. Yeah. That's what black people will be on.
Right. I'm so glad you cleared that up. Yeah. A lot of people just try and use the curses as a crutch. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hold on, dude. You know, one thing, I mean, we've always been a lot of, you know, you got a lot of the fake Israelite groups that teach we only went under the curses in slavery. No, we didn't just only go under curses in slavery. The curses and the blessings were always hanging over our heads. To whatever vary of degree that we accepted it is what vary of degree that we got. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we agree with is what we get. Right. And it's always been that way. You know, I mean, hell, it was even like that in Egypt. Moses just reaffirmed what was, you know, already set in play. He reaffirmed and told us verbally again. You know what I'm saying? The curses was there.
It's from the beginning. The scripture says you reap what you sow.
Simple as that.
You can't reap wickedness and then expect a blessing.
Right.
You reap wickedness and you expect your kids to be blessed.
Right.
It don't work like that.
Now the fake Israelite groups, like now they don't have that as a crutch if they watch this class.
Yeah. Well, that's during the time of the Maccabees when we had Jerusalem.
All right. And
brothers was standing, the brothers of the Maccabees, they were going to battle, praying to the Lord for the victory. The Lord was sending angels, giving them victories when they should have easily got defeated. They was whooping heathens left and right. You know what I mean? The Lord was with us. It was a great time for us. Even during that time, you had Israelites that hated their own people. Shoot, you think they hate black people now because we destroyed? They hated black people when we were, you know, being blessed. When we were being blessed.
Right.
They still hated black people. You understand? Now that's just some wickedness they got to get rooted out. You understand? That's going to eventually get rooted out of Israel.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I have to do a class of that. I just say that just right quick.
Yeah, if I could, that's why 2/3 got to go.
Yeah, well, we pray to the Lord and we work that the UPK stands on the 2/3. I think I told you already.
Yeah,
that we going to work so hard and do the will of the Lord so well that the Lord save all Israel and we get them all together in the wilderness. You understand? That's what we work towards. That's our stance on it. The same way Moses, the Lord told Moses that I'm gonna kill all Israel and make a new nation out of Moses. But Moses pleaded with the Lord and said, look, if you do that, everybody's gonna say you brought Israel into the wilderness just to kill us all. You know what I mean? Please repent, and we're gonna, give us some more chances. And the Lord agreed with Moses. Right. It didn't kill us. Right. So we kept taking that same stance. You know what I mean? But who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Lord will. I mean, I don't doubt that a lot of Israel probably going to bite the dust. Right. But Lord will that we start waking up. Yeah. Go ahead.
And that also goes to show how the Lord leads by example, because he tells us without counsel, do nothing.
Yeah.
He took counsel. Even the Most High took counsel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he made it, he's like, damn, you know what? Moses is right. All right, cool. we'll roll with that. That's an example for us too, regardless of how high we get in rank or stature or whatever the hell the case is. You know, when we get blessed to where we powerful and such, still to take counsel and everything.
Damn right. Ezra, you had some more thing you was gonna say? No sweat. Well, yeah. So that's the spirit behind it. Go ahead, Warren.
Oh yeah. I got a question. Salakia, I know the UPK doesn't have deacons or bishops, or do they? The Lord speaks of these men as leaders among the nation, and set paths straight men for them to follow in order to lead effectively.
Yeah, we don't use the terms deacons or bishops. That's the Greek translation. But in the Hebrew, it'll be the scriptures from the beginning said set officers and judges in thy gates. So a deacon and a bishop is just basically the Greek version of an officer and a captain. You know what I mean? So let's get that scripture. Get that scripture. Give me Deuteronomy 16 and 18. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 20 and verse 9. Yeah, chapter 20, verse 9. Let's start with that one.
Deuteronomy 20, verse 9. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people.
The officers made an end of speaking to the people. Go ahead.
That they shall make captains of the armies.
They shall make captains of the armies. You understand? It didn't say deacons and bishops in the beginning. That's just the Greek translation. It's supposed to be captains and officers. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 9. Make sure, brothers, if y'all online, y'all get them precept books. They got the rank scripture precepts. There's a couple precepts on this. Deuteronomy 16 and 18. 1 Chronicles 27 and 34 with the generals, captains of hundreds and thousands. 1 Chronicles 12.
Which one that is?
But the generals?
Generals and captains.
There's a lot of them. Deuteronomy 16 and 18. 1 Chronicles 27 and 34. 1 Chronicles chapter 12.
1 Chronicles
chapter 12.
Chapter 12. What was the First Chronicles?
1 Chronicles 27 and 34. That's where it said generals. We had generals. You know what I mean? So we go way back. You know what I mean, to the original, not the Greek translation, because the Christian church then ruined the Greek translation. Half the stuff we said translated through the Greek, Christian church then demonized.
Right.
A deacon and a bishop been demonized. There ain't nothing but somebody who molests children by now.
Right.
Why we go by that term? We might as well go by the term that's still good.
Right. Well, it's just like the rainbow.
Yeah.
Good night. Look at how that's been demonized.
Exactly.
You know? And we can't even use the, we can't use it. The rainbow.
Joseph had a garment of rainbow colors.
Right.
And that was back in the scriptures.
Right.
But we ain't about to wear no rainbow color garments now.
Sure the hell ain't.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they've been demonized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Over this in this kingdom.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that have been ruined. So we don't use them terms. You know what I mean? We want to stick to what's holy, which holy means separate. It means it ain't connected to no wickedness.
Right.
So we're not going to use no terms that's connected to wickedness. You know what I mean? Especially when the Bible has the original terms,
right,
which is the captains, generals, and officers and judges. All right. Just finish on Deuteronomy 20 and 9.
That they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people.
Captains to lead the people. Go ahead.
When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it.
That's it on that. Let's get Deuteronomy 16 and 18. One more precept on that. Somebody want the email part. Oh, yeah. Lacom, just text me again. Remind me. I was meant to send that to you. Text me again, and I'll after class, and I'll send you that email version, the phone version of the precept book. You paid the $40 for it.
Deuteronomy 16 and 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee, and all thy gates.
Judges and officers. How do we make judges in the gates? Go ahead. I ain't heard no judge yet at the UPK. Where's y'all judge at? Judge is 10,000. Where's that at? Or did somebody try to cut you on that?
I mean, I want to say that judges are the ones that are wise. I'm saying the people in the UPK are wise enough to judge people.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have the laws.
We have the laws. We have the judges. You wanna you could bring it. You want to bring it to how we have councils, and in the councils, there's always a judge that make a judgment on who's right and who's wrong. You know what I mean? You want to just add that part in there. The judge decides who's right and who's wrong. In the Israelite school UPK, we have council, where let's say you want to take somebody to council, which is like court. You have a judge that's going to preside over it to decide who's right and who's wrong. You know what I mean? So what you said is right. That we have the officers who are wise enough to decide who's right and who's wrong according to the scriptures. You know what I mean? So that's how we have judges. Read the rest on that scripture.
Which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes.
Throughout thy tribes. Shoot, why you think our Hispanic brothers is still dying so bad right now? They ain't got no judges. They ain't got nobody to decide who's right and who's wrong. You know what I mean? They ain't got nobody to, give, punishments or rewards to the people. They don't have no Israelite school UPK yet.
Go
ahead.
And they shall judge the people with just judgment.
With just judgment. What is it just in the scriptures? Is the law.
Right.
They're going to judge the people according to the law. Right. You understand? Is there any more in that scripture?
Thou shalt not rest judgment.
That's it on that. Let's get the scripture with the generals. 1 Chronicles 27 and 34. And then we're going to end the class. Prayers popping. First Chronicles chapter 27, verse 34.
Good God. 27, 24?
Chapter 27, verse 34.
34. First Chronicles 27, verse 34. And after I.S.U.P.K was Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah, and Abiathar, and the generals of the king's army was Joab.
The generals of the king's army was Joab. So that lets you know the rank structure that we had under King David. You had King David as the king. Then you had the general, commander in general, which is what the seat that Commander General YAHANNA sits in, under Christ. You understand? Right. Who is the king?
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Then you have Commander General YAHANNA, that's his seat, under the king. All right. And then under that, you got the other generals and the other captains and the other officers. Right. You understand? All in rank order. Just like we used to do it in the past over in Israel, that's how we do it now.
Yes.
Go ahead. You got something?
That's powerful right there. And that's what I love to emphasize on stuff like that. That rank structure and everything is very important. Because, here's the thing. When you look at us in the past, even when we had inferior weapons, because we be looking, a lot of times we look on weaponry and stuff like that, how great the weaponry is, what this gun can do, what this and that can do. But when that rank structure come into play, we beat people with an inferior array of weapons.
Right.
Just because of how solidly. That's one of the things that they said about the Levites down in Haiti. They said they had a rank structure that was so world renowned and so respected. They couldn't break it.
Yeah.
But they were fighting with machetes and pitchforks. While Napoleon and them had the best weapons of their day.
Damn right.
I'm just saying, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Damn right.
but mighty to the taking down of strongholds. Get that scripture.
And with that, I'm gonna pass the class to Priest and Officer Atazar. Let's cut that up. Let's get the security announcements. I'll use it to rest real quick.
Nah. Go back it down to it.
Well, it'll be officer come forward and bang, you'll be handling this shit, you know.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10, which means 10% in the Hebrew, ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, the Feast of Purim, and we also got the Passover in the arenas. Announce holy convocation from the sheep. Remind Akim and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, individual module. Sar, which means turn the face to east. We're gonna do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. I will know. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kadash.
Kadash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shimka. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakuka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah. Zaka.
Hayah.
Hayah. Aisha.
Aisha.
Baratiza. Kawa. Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Latan.
Lanao.
Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalaki now. Wapawaki now. Wasalaki now. Wapawaki now. Wala Tabayaya now. Manasaya one.
Awa.
Salaki. Abba. Hawashaya now.
Hawashaya now.
Mayan. Rad. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wala Wala Tapar. Wala William. Aman. In the English. Our Father. Which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. On earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Give us of our debts. Give our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from the evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. It's the Hakat, the power, in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushua. The Thalanau. The Hakat. The Rapa. Kama Maka'ala. Kama Marawa. Hakat. Like the Ha. The Ryan. Hakat. The Hakim.
Yeah, take time.
The Hakim. Hamathium. Hakat. All Rakai. All Raka'ahu. Salaki. All Raka'awa. All Rakawa. Hatama Allah. The Garshan. Hashim. Yahushua. The water. Aman. In the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. All manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. This is the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Why Yahushua? Why Maka'ala? Why Alaim? Matazaba Ya'ah. Alawap YAHANNA. Ha'ala Wapium.
Hakawapium.
Hasarayim.
Hakazayim.
Hakwatazayim.
Hakwatazayim.
Hakayayim.
Hakazayim.
Wahakwati.
Wahakwatium.
Wahakwatium.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
The water Amon.
The water Amon.
In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Generals.
The generals.
The
The captain.
officers.
The officers.
Troops.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Next to you, warrior.
Bless are you, Yahweh.
Bless are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and
And
earth.
all living things.
And all living things.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evil and curses.
Send evil and curses.
And punishments.
And punishment.
And destruction.
And destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
Thy teachers.
Thy teachers.
Thy princes.
Thy princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evil and curses.
Send evil and curses.
And punishments.
And
And
punishment.
destruction.
And destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake
The
loose.
treasure
The treasures.
of the rich.
Of the rich.
Of Israel.
Of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to get to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evil and curses.
Send evil and curses.
And punishment.
And punishment.
And destruction.
And destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nations.
And
Of the
their
nation.
and their drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court system.
The court
The
system.
prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned
The
Parenthood.
government of our enemies.
The government of our enemies.
Amalek synagogue and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinhead.
Skinheads.
Posse Kamatazi.
Posse Kamatazi.
The gay movement.
The gay
The
movement.
lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
That's the space program.
That's the space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
The cable access channel.
Cable access channels. channels.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the spirit
of any of thy people
of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the way
or try to stop us
or try to stop us
from broadcasting your word
broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues
Let loose all the plagues.
cause it to go to and fro
Cause it to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house
Let the plague shake the house
of the thief
of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahushua
Let Yahushua
and Michael
and Michael
and Gabriel
and Gabriel
come down
come down
with the flying saucers
with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathen
and punish all the heathen
that come up against us
and come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known
Cause we know
by all that it is,
by all that it is,
the angels that have done it.
the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread throughout
Cause it to be spread throughout
the media,
the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause it to shake at that coming.
Cause it to shake at that coming.
In the name of Yahushua,
In the name of Yahushua,
thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So, men of Israel, Amajum, courtesy salute to the brothers.
So we're gonna give one to the teacher. That's how it's supposed to be.
All right, men of Israel, turn to face the teacher. Sorry, turn to face the teacher. Men of Israel, Amajum, Shabbat, Amajum, Barat, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakatah,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakathum.
Kazmatah. Courtesy salute to the sisters.
Have sister stand.
Turn to face the sister.
Sister stand. You want to put your hand over your head because you don't have a head cover, a head scarf. All right.
Men of Israel, Amajum Shabbat, Amajum, Kazmatah. Salakia, Barat. Yahweh Shema Atah Shem Yahushua.
So what you're gonna say is Yahweh. Keep your hand over your head. Yahweh. Shamar. Alatah. Ba'Shem Yahushua. Sorry, press.
Yazmatah. Class dismissed.
That speaker too, if you could. Raquan.
Yeah, that pissed me off yesterday, though, man. I was mad.